Hello there, geography peeps. I'm Game Mongoose. I am a designer of all sorts in game design, in disc golf as well. So just love designing and mapping out geography, things like that. We're going to create a game together in this series, a civilization simulator. It's going to be called QuickCiv. At least that's the idea of it. But yeah, turn-based multiplayer, kind of mixed turn-based, mixed real-time civilization simulator. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll check it out. There is the creation lore that we'll go over, and then some of the rules of play. With worries of humans ruining the Earth, 208 countries and territories sent research subjects off for a distant planet with the same conditions as Earth. The subjects were placed in equally sized areas in the equivalent of the Stone Age and set loose to build up the human race once again on their new planet. So what we have is an equally divided world. These subjects were raised in an isolated ecosystem with no social or technologies. People would be restarting the chain of civilizations, but as humans do, the war is on again. So it's basically a brand new Earth scenario with even territory. So every country will have an even shot with land and distribution. There are 208 divisions to start, and they all have their own country. Each era will be a turn. You roll one of the 20 possible actions for every type of nation that there is. All the distributions of the potential roles will be different. So a hunting civilization may have different outcomes 1 to 20 than a farming civilization. A farming civilization may be more attack averse, so they will have less attack actions, and the hunters may have less bolster actions. They might have more explorers, things like that. Then a second roll of 20 will occur, and you see all those different outcomes for the actions. So what you're going to look at now is some of the specific actions themselves. So disease will obviously be a low roll, and they will lose some of their territory. They will lose some of their strength. Every civilization will start at 50 strength. The better your strength, the better your defenses and your attack probabilities will you go head-to-head against nations. You can also make friends with nations, as equally they can rebel against you. So your own nation can split apart if rebellion happens. So here, most of the rolls fail if you get into rebellion, but you can lose 25% of your state, 50, and the complete state can switch to a rebel state. If you roll a 1 and then a 3 and then a 1, perhaps 3 for rebellion, then a 1 within the rebellion, then you're completely gone. Your disease can wipe out, 50% of your state, or can completely wipe you out if you roll a 1. Exploring can expand your borders. You can claim new land, and you can make friends with those neighbors around you. The more times you explore to the same neighbor that you're friendly with, the tighter that bond will be, the more likely they will be to help you in battle. The explore, once it gets up to 3 explorers with the same person, then you align with them. You could actually combine and create a union as well if you were the same top civilization level. Spying, you can actually steal strength from opponents. So you can, and actually if you roll a perfect 20 on the spy, you steal 10 strength from an opponent, plus you incite a rebellion. So their turn switches to rebellion, whatever it was before. If you roll one of these numbers to get a -10 spy, then you're going to lose 10, and your relationship with that country goes to dislike. Bolster is defense, and half of the rolls for bolster is a failed, but then the rest of them you gain that amount of strength. And then finally attack. Once you get up to 11 for the roll, you'll start to gain that country's territory. Now these are all for foragers right now. You start as a foraging nation, and then you'll develop into either a hunter or a farmer to start. You can completely take over the country if you roll at least a 16 to 20, and then you actually lose some of that strength and territory if you roll low against the attack. So they actually push you back. Now the colored cells here are representing developments. So the explorers, the more aggressive nations, they will develop into hunters if they explore. Now you would think they might develop on attack, but attacking has its own benefit for gaining land and strength. So exploring doesn't give you as much strength. It does give you one or two. And then the bolster can turn you into a farmer. They're more defense heavy, so they're less likely to gain points through attacks. So they do gain more points with the bolster. So that's the balancing agent in this all. Now the development tree here. Every time you develop towards the more defensive action, you'll go to the right, and every time you develop to the more aggressive action, you'll develop to the left. So foragers can become hunters and farmers. Farmers can become animal or plant-based civilizations, but hunters can also become animal-based civilizations if they take the more reserved development chain. If they stay aggressive, then they'll become a weapons-based civilization. Then they can go to military or science. The animal people can go to science or industry. The plants can go from industry to philosophy. So we have the very pacifist route going down the right to humanism, then environmentalism at the extreme. Industry can branch into economy or religion, which can go to monarchy or communism. And then economy can become capitalism or communism. Great divide right there, right down the middle. Dictatorship, conquest, military, all the aggressive side there, it makes sense. They will be more attack based, but they will have more weaknesses like susceptibility to rebellions and disease. There is a couple of places, like environmentalism, that has no disease at all once it gets to this top chain. And then once you're at the top chain, you start adding levels to those, so you can get communism 1, communism 2, and you'll increase the range of attacks. So you can increase your attacks across the water, things like this here. The water is divided into different levels and depths of water, so every time you cross one of those lines in water, you need to have enough ship power to get through there. And then all of these different levels of civilization have different ship power. Here's our map, and we've randomized the turn order. All right, there's the pan in on our fully ready, newly colonized planet, ready to go. Mali and Guinea flags were out of order there, so there's just a note about that. Our center island being one of the smaller ones, but we'll see how the center island fares, if any victors or powerhouses come from there. These are all testing variances right now, so it's not meant to be completely even yet. It's going to be finding out what is even and what isn't even. So, round 1, to the attacks. First up, we've got Wales. Up in the corner, you can see the turn order there, and they're going to attack in towards Argentina. Oh, with a 1? So they lose 25% of their land right away to Argentina. And Scotland's up next. We've got all these British countries going. So 8 is a fail, so they just lose 1 strength, and then it goes to the next turn. Ireland is up next, and they attack 11, so that's a 5%, and they will take a strength from Eritrea, and we're on to the next country. All right, it looks to be the Gambia. They're going to attack into Angola for 9, but it's a fail, so you do lose 1 strength when you fail. 10, that's another fail. And Benin, 14. That's a win. And, oh, wow, Palau takes over immediately. Who do we have next here? We got a roll from Serbia. Oh, it's a perfect 20. What direction is it going to be in? Qatar. Well done. Colombia. No, Papua. Alright, so you get the flow of these rolls there. Bhutan got some land. Tuvalu takes over Finland. Armenia takes out Congo. they're a goner there as well. Yeah, right out of the gates, you have your attacks, your fails. This is a pretty standard turn. And yeah, it's interesting. You'll have some successes and some failures. Oh, Equatorial Guinea's taken over Norway as well. Oh, that's a 25% loss for New Caledonia. Spain is going to take some of their land. And at 16, Saudi Arabia conquers Malaysia right off the bat. So some of these countries, they don't even get to have a turn in the game at all. They're already gone and taken over. Kosovo goes into Bahrain. We have Vietnam taking over their country as well. Well done. Lesotho. Rwanda, I think it was. They took Rwanda. Yeah, so, oh, Western Sahara gone. Jordan. Now Afghanistan rolling. Oh, they're gone. Malawi took them over. Nauru takes out Iceland. Brunei takes out Vanuatu. Albania takes out England. England gone. A big player in the game. Already gone. We've got some small chippings going on here. Panama cutting in. Oh, Bulgaria took over their country. Iran has taken over a country as well. They're off to a good start. In the middle here, we got Palestine trying their hand as well. Now we have the spy round. So this is just strength gaining and failing. Mauritania. They fail. So a little bit later in the game, I introduced the relationships between countries who have a discovered spy situation happen. So right off the bat, it was either war or no war, or attack or no attack. There was no like constant states of war, but we did introduce that as a factor. So you couldn't just become friends. There had needed to be more to the explore. There needed to be more benefit to the explore. I didn't know how the allies were gonna come about. So the explorer took over the allies and they started building relationships. So right off the bat, there was no dislikes created by being caught spying. Oh yeah, it looks like we've got a couple perfects. Oh, sent into rebellion. And we have some hunters on our hands already. Is that the case? Yeah, it does look like it. We're doing the explorers now. Oh, we have a relationship between Chile and Austria. Well, up Solomon Islands and Tuvalu. Their flag was corrected as well. Gabon and Namibia, friends. Northern Ireland and Myanmar, friends. Ooh, that's a Botswana flag. It looks a little off there. Their stripe is a little too light. Switzerland and Kiribati, friends. Really high rolls, so they develop into hunters here if they have a good explorer roll. You can still be friends and not get the development success. See, that's an 8. So that's no development for North Korea and Ukraine, but they do become friends. Chad and Denmark, friends. Djibouti, oh, no. As Jamaica and Belize's friends. Trinidad and Syria, friends. Barbados and Turkmenistan, gonna be friends. Perfect 20. Burkina Faso, no, this is Slovenia and Namibia. So Namibia's got 2 friends. That's great for them. That means they won't attack each other in the next turn if they aim towards each other. Haiti and Zambia. Maldives makes a friend as well. Algeria and French Guiana, they will be friends. All of the ones that didn't make it into the friendship, I surpassed. Well, St. Kitts and Nevis just double friended up with Sweden, so they have open borders now. So there's 2 friendships made in one turn. They're now friends with open borders. Latvia and Comoros, they are friends. South Africa and Palestine, friends. Just barely making friends, Panama and Tunisia. Micronesia into Madagascar, friends. New Caledonia, French Guiana, friends. Two of the wild card territorial additions. Cambodia and Macedonia are friends. No, we got some fails going on. St. Lucia. Oh, we have a rebellion. There are rebellions happening all over the place. Northern Cyprus, Hmong Lao, Al-Shabaab. Oh, Kurdistan takes over Iran completely. My goodness, Iran is just usurped by rebels. Faroe Islands in Denmark too. Here we go. Imperial Italy, the Kingdom of Italy. Mussolini's Italy breaks off from the Vatican. They are alive and well. And Casamance is born. Of course, the southern region of Senegal. They're born out of the Guinean rebellion. Yeah, I think it was. Wow, and then Aziz starts. Uruguay takes a hit. They're long, skinny situation. Slovakia, Honduras take a hit. Dominica takes a hit. Belarus takes a hit. Democratic Republic of Congo, Mozambique, and Nigeria all take disease hits. They lose strength. They lose every 5% of land. They lose 1 strength. Disease is running rampant. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, disease is running rampant to start. It looks... Oh, Japan even takes a hit. When you have a low development, there are more opportunities for disease to strike and more damage that disease will do. Nigeria also takes a hit. So Nigeria and Nigeria beside each other have both peeled back their land. Niger almost completely gone. And that's the state of affairs we have here. Namibia with their 2 friends. Some double territories already. Tanzania butting into Mexico. I missed that one. Palau has completely taken over one of the nations. And that does it for the first round. We'll see what the stats bring us at the start of the second round. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. But just to go over how the turns work before we get into the next episode, I'd like to hear some of the feedback and ideas that you have for this series. I want to keep a very quick, playable multiplayer game that you could play on your phone or one of the I/O type places. So a little bit more detail about the disease and the rebellions and things like that. When a country rebels and they are attacked by their rebel state, the rebel state does not have as much strength. But they don't suffer any strength penalties when they're attacking their original state. So they attack as if they have the same strength as their state. So they attack on even playing field. But usually when a rebellion happens, it takes either 50 or 25% from that rebellion. So it's going to actually start at 50% or 25% of the strength of that nation. So they're going to be very weak. It's going to be very hard for them to make a go of it. But they do, later in the game, only attack that nation at the start as long as they're a rebel state. A rebel state, they need to develop out of being a rebel state, so they will actually become a foraging society, and then they will become a hunter or a farming society. So they have 1 turn of development to get over that rebel status, and then they can resume to be normal. They do get a good strength boost once they become foragers, so that allows them to recover that penalty and become an independent nation rather than just a rebel force. The spying will have definite impacts later in the game, much more than it does now. Spying is just stealing strength at this point. It will then become like a relationship changer almost, and if you spy on one nation and it starts to dislike you, all its friendly nations will not trust you. So there are just different stages of trust and positive and negative relationships that haven't evolved yet. But we do get in that in a few of the later turns. So I've done 1 series already, so I know how it happens. But I'm going to go around and get the feedback and everything in the comments during this series, and hopefully you can give me some tips and help out how we're going to develop this game together. Yeah, so that's episode 1. Episode 2, we'll start with another fresh round of attacks, completely randomized once again, and we'll just recap who the big players are by looking at some of the stats.